stelle fest, das Moment.
Okay, das sagt's.
No, it's the thing more beautiful in this world.
Huh?
There's no thing more beautiful in this world.
Yes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottavam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayati Nasta Prayesha Avatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtiki. So we are going to read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 29, talks between Narada and King Prachinabarhi. Text number 64. Nanubhutam kvachanena Dehena drishtam ashrutam Kadachit upalapyeta Yadrupam yad atmani Nanubhutam kvachanena Dehena drishtam ashrutam Kadachit upalapyeta Yadrupam yadrik atmani Nanubhutam kvachanena Dehena drishtam ashrutam Kadachit upalapyeta Yadrupam yadrik atmani
Nanubhutam kvachanena Dehena drishtam ashrutam
Kadachit upalapyeta
Yadrupam yadrik atmani
Nanubhutam kvachanena Dehena drishtam ashrutam Kadachit upalapyeta Yadrupam yadrigatmani
Nanubhutam kvachanena Dehena drishtam ashrutam Kadachit upalapyeta Yadrupam yadrikatmani
Do you know?
Nanubhutam
kvachanena
Dehena
drishtam ashrutam Kadachit upalapyeta Yadrupam yadrikatmani. Now, never. Anubhutam, experienced. Kva, at any time. Cha, also. Anena, Dehena, by this body. Adrishtam, never seen. Ashrutam, never heard. Kadachit, sometimes. Ubalapyeta, may be experienced. Yat, which. Rupam, form. Yatrak, whatever kind. Atmani, in the mind. Translation and purport is given by divine by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sometimes we suddenly experience something that was never experienced in the present body by sight or hearing. Sometimes we see such things suddenly in dreams. Purport. In dreams we sometimes see things that we have never experienced in the present body. Sometimes in dreams we think that we are flying in the sky, although we have no experience of flying. This means that once in a previous life, either as a demigod or astronaut, we flew in the sky. The impression is there in the stockpile of the mind, and it suddenly expresses itself. It is like fermentation taking place in the depths of water, which sometimes manifests itself in bubbles on the water's surface. Sometimes we dream of coming to a place we have never known or experienced in this lifetime. But this is proof that in the past life we experienced this. The impression is kept within the mind and sometimes becomes manifest either in dream or in thought. The conclusion is that the mind is the storehouse of various thoughts and experiences undergone during our past lives. Thus, there is a chain of continuation from one life to another, from previous lives to this life, and from this life to future lives. This is also sometimes proved by saying that a man is a born poet, a born scientist, or a born devotee. If, like Maharaj Ambarisha, we think of Krishna constantly in this life, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo, we will certainly be transferred to the kingdom of God at the time of death. Even if our attempt to be Krishna conscious is not complete, our consciousness will continue in the next life. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Prapya punya kritam lokam ushitva shashvati samaha suchi nam shrimatam geha yoga brashta vichayate. The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. If we rigidly follow the principles of meditation on Krishna, there is no doubt that in our next life we will be transferred to Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavan. Om Ajnana-timirandasya jnananjana-shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamatyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sakana Raghunatam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakana Lalita Shri Visakam Vidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinadamano Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanu Sige Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpata Rupyasya Kripa Sindhukya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ye Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Good morning, everyone. Happy to see you all here. And thank you for letting me speak today. So we are now having some very interesting topics which Narada Muni is giving here. It started with Prachina Barhi. He said, Narada Muni, whatever you told me, I accept. My previous teachers, they have taught me wrongly. Now I accept this, but I have one question. You said we will experience the reactions which we have performed in our previous lives. So how come? Because our bodies from our previous lives is already gone. So it's the question that Prachina Barhi asked, and Narada Muni, for that he gives the first answer. It's the subtle body that remains. He says that the subtle body, it is a state that reflects all our actions and reactions of our previous lives. It is a state of consciousness that we have achieved due to our previous activities. In engineering, we have a term called state of a system. What is a state of a system? A state means all the parameters that an engineer needs to know of a system that he can, from the time now, from now on to all the time in the future, he can operate a system without any difficulties. So the state of a system is kind of a summary of that has happened previously. Like a flight, we can see a flight, it is flying over the skies. Let's say we fly from Zurich to New York, and or to Los Angeles, and we are now over New York. What is the state of the flight? The state of the flight is the position where it is, the altitude above the sea, the speed, the direction, how much fuel we have, like all the things we can read on the cockpit. That is the state of the flight. And now when one pilot goes to rest and another pilot comes, that pilot doesn't need to know where the flight has been previously. He doesn't have to know that the flight went exactly through Paris and through this city and over the ocean. He just comes to the cockpit, sees where he is now, and he can maneuver the flight to the future. Because the position where the flight is now is a result of the previous paths, right? But all the previous destinations are gone. What remains is the state of the flight. And similarly, the subtle body is a state of all our previous destinations and activities. All the previous bodies are gone, but the result is stored in our subtle body. And Prabhupada says the subtle body is like a stockpile of impressions, he says in this verse, or a storehouse of thoughts and experiences we have experienced in the past. So Narada Muni, to answer Prachina Barhi's question, he first introduces the subtle body. And he kind of proves that there exists a subtle body by giving the example of a dream, that in a dream our gross body is not moving, but in our subtle body we experience and identify with all of different thoughts and personalities and relations, etc. So that is the first kind of evidence that Narada Muni gives. But the question of Prachina Barhi is not yet answered with just the subtle body. So Narada Muni is now explaining or giving an evidence or a proof why the subtle body carries this. So the question to you, what is the evidence that our subtle body has all the impressions and samskaras of previous lives?
Our desires.
How is that a result of your previous lives? can't you say your desires have emerged in this life?
We can understand by our gross body. So it's result of our desire in past.
Okay, but I think it's not completely proving yet. But how do you know it's previous? Like I am asking, what are some indications that our subtle body carries memories of? I have somehow answered it already. Yeah.
I mean, Prabhupada mentioned the dreams, that we experience things that we actually never experienced in this life, like lying in the dream or being in a particular place where you haven't, and that children are born with us as devotees or as scientists, genius, whatever.
So the evidence that Prabhupada and Narada gives is that sometimes we think or dream of things that is no chance that we have experienced in this life. So that means it has to come from another life. So that is the evidence. But for this proof, there is one condition required that this proof can work. And that condition is that our mind, our subtle body, can only play around or concoct with things that it has experienced. It cannot concoct things it hasn't experienced. You may think, what am I talking now? I imagine and concoct so many things that does not exist. What I'm speaking here. So it's a subtle difference, and I thought we can very nicely explain this condition with in the field of artificial intelligence. There we try to create consciousness, and also in robotics we use artificial intelligence to study and develop the behavior of robots. And one model for artificial intelligence is a artificial neural network. This is a neural network. It's inspired by the structure of the brain, how the brain has grids of neurons and how it is behaving with the neurons and the signals. So we mimic the structure of the brain and try to artificially create a neural network. And with this neural network, we want to predict something, draw something, write something, So when we construct a neural network, we have to first train the neural network. For example, if you want to create a neural network that draws images, we have to first tell the neural network, this is a dog, this is a cat, this is a snake. For example, we do this, we give many pictures of dogs to the neural network, many different kinds of pictures from different places, from different species, different colors, from different angles, and we say to the neural network, this is a dog. Similarly, we give a picture of a cat, a picture of a snake. And this way, we train the neural network, and in future we say, AI, can you draw me a cat or a dog? It will draw you a new image of a cat or a dog. For example, if the pictures of the snakes were all red and green or yellow, the neural network can draw a dog with a yellow fur. We don't see dogs with yellow furs usually, but the neural network can combine. It can concoct between its experiences. This is what we do actually. This is what our mind can do. Like you can draw, we can say the neural network, draw me a cat which is bigger in size, maybe dark, maybe has a black fur, and it would look like a panther. And interesting is the neural network, we never gave the picture of a panther, but the neural network, from the experiences and data it knows, it can somehow create a panther, even if it has no experience of a panther. Or it can draw a snake with 4 legs, like 4 cat legs. It doesn't exist, but it can draw, or a dog with 5 heads. But the interesting thing is, if you ask now the neural network, can you draw me a peacock? What do you think?
If you didn't program it?
If the neural network only get pictures of dogs, cats and snakes for the training phase,
No,
it cannot. Why?
it doesn't have any experience.
It doesn't have experience of feathers, of wings, of beaks, you know. So it cannot draw. It will somehow try to draw maybe, but it cannot because it has never made an experience of it. So this is what I said, or what Narada Muni, the condition that Narada Muni uses for this proof that our subtle body is an impression of all our previous lives, is that our mind can concoct and play around with thoughts and experiences. It can combine things with already existing experiences, and it will not make sense, but doesn't matter, it can play around. But it can never imagine something which it has never experienced. Like when we ask a blind person, we ask him, or how would you explain to a blind person what color green is?
I will not try, it's impossible.
You will not try, it's impossible, right? Because the blind person has no idea of, so he cannot concoct, what colors is. But how will you explain a blind person what is a ball and what is a cube? Or how will you give him the experience of what is a ball and what is a cube?
A ball is a cube
Mm-hmm.
object.
So you will give the object in his hand, and with the other senses, he can conduct somehow with the sense of a touch, he can now feel it. Okay, the ball is like smooth and round, the cube has edges, and with the other senses, the blind person can now experience something and somehow with the mind get an idea how a cube looks like and how a sphere looks like, even though he cannot see it, right? So here again the play is that mind can only play with things it has experienced. So this is the crucial point for the proof of Narada Muni. Narada Muni says your mind cannot come up with something that it has never experienced, and because some people in dreams they experience things which there's hardly possibilities, or recognize places or people that there is no way that they could have experienced in this life, that means these experiences must come from previous lives. So this is the proof that Narada Muni is bringing. In the next verses he will more and more explain and further describe these proofs. He will give like golden mountains. We can imagine a golden mountains, but we have never seen a golden mountain but we have seen gold and we have seen mountains, so we can combine. Also in this way, the subtle body is accompanying us from life to life. The gross body we leave behind, and the subtle body we bring with us, and it is accompanying us through all our lives. And yes, you mentioned before, we see this in Wunderkinder, like born poets, Prabhupada says born poets, scientists, musicians. Like I think Mozart, he composed, his first composition was at age of 5. So how does it come? He must have already experienced of it in previous lives. One can say why he has to wait 5 years, why not since from birth on, why can't he play? But then we can say the gross body has not developed to such an extent that all his fingers are moving fast enough, right? So this is, these experiences we see in this world. And I think with this concept, I think also what I find fascinating is that we can also somehow, with this concept also, figure out what are the experiences of our spiritual nature. Because we know our subtle body is covering our true spirit, our true Atma, but still our spiritual qualities, our spiritual ego and our spiritual senses and mind somehow shine through to our material minds and bodies. One can ask the question, why is our material mind never satisfied? You know, we say the mind can only concoct and imagine things with the experiences it has already have in the previous lives. So why is the mind always hankering for something else? The mind should only know what it has experienced, why it is searching for something new. There is a statement of Narada Muni. It's a very nice statement, but I could not find it yet. I lost it. I think it is Narada Muni speaking to Vasudeva, but maybe you know this, but I could not find the statement. But what he says is that he finds it very astonishing that the mind desires something, we work very hard for it, and then we achieve it, but after achieving it, it still wants more, right? So why is it? Why is it searching for more? Why is the mind never satisfied? Because if we now come to the concept that Narada Muni is speaking, the proof, it must mean that the mind has an experience of a higher nature. If it doesn't have the experience of a higher nature, of a higher something, how is the mind then always wanting something for more? If a child, you give him toys, he will play with it. But when it goes, and he is satisfied, the child. But when he goes to the school and sees all the other children have a smartphone, then the child starts to ask, I also want a smartphone. But till he gets to experience what a smartphone is, he never desires, right? So it's a very interesting question. So, and why is that case? Because our material mind doesn't have experience of it, but our spiritual mind has the experience of spiritual nature and qualities. Why is everyone afraid of death? Why no one wants to die? Our material mind has only experienced death. In all our previous lives, there is no chance that our material mind has experienced someone living forever. So why is that still, again and again, we don't want to die? Because that is the experience of our spiritual mind, and which is shining through the coverings, and we want to somehow live and survive, right? Because the spiritual soul is eternal. And similarly, we can also say with knowledge. Why do we always want to know more? Why do we want to study the universe? Why do we want to see what exists on the other planets and how the universe started? Because from nature on, our true nature is Satchit Ananda. And why do we always seek for more and more happiness? Because our true nature is of spiritual nature, of spiritual bliss. Let's say we have experienced the spiritual bliss, which is why we are always hankering to achieve it. We are searching for it. And it's a very interesting statement. C.S. Lewis says, I think everyone knows, if I find in myself desires which nothing in this world can satisfy, the only logical explanation is that I was made for another world. C.S. Lewis, a Christian, famous Christian. It's a very profound statement, right? I recently heard this statement asked to Richard Dawkins. He's like the #1 atheist. He ridicules religion, And when he was confronted with this statement, he just ridiculed this statement, said, C.S. Lewis should come with a better proof, Because he's an evolutionary biologist, all his answers are only, we want something more because it is the nature of survival, you know. That is how we are made. Evolution, survival of the fittest, we always want to survive, you know. That is the nature of matter. But we can ask him, but why do we want to survive, you know? That is the more important question which he doesn't ask, you know. And that is the more important question. And this argument also Prabhupada brings again and again. He says, you try and try and try again, but you are never satisfied. That means you are of a higher nature. You are a para-prakriti, of spiritual nature. So your true place belongs in the spiritual world. And we can attain our spiritual nature back by purifying our subtle body, our gross body, by devotional service, but especially hearing and chanting the holy name, hearing the topics of Krishna, and constantly remembering Krishna. In this way, our material mind will get purified and our true spiritual mind will come to reveal. And at the end of life, as Prabhupada says, also Krishna says in the Gita, Antakala Chamameva, Smaran Mukta Kalevaram. So at the end of death, if someone remembers him, he will then attain his kingdom. And even if one fails to attain it, we have now learned, the subtle body is a state or a storehouse, all of our previous activities. So our spiritual devotional activities, they are also stored in the subtle body. So in the next life, Krishna will give us an opportunity to continue our devotional service in a family of a devotee, or somehow or other come in contact with devotees and can continue our activities of pure devotional service. This is somehow what I planned for today, and I thought with this concept, right, that the subtle body is carrying the impressions and experiences and thoughts of previous lives. I thought it would be nice to make a survey first among children who are born in Krishna consciousness, and to see to what extent they have faith in Krishna, or how easy is it for them to understand Krishna conscious philosophy. We can certainly, I think, figure out and see, okay, this is coming from the previous lives, that they are now easily understanding this principle and that principle. And then I think also a survey among other devotees who joined maybe in a later state of their life. I think there is definitely, we can ask, why were you attracted to Krishna consciousness? Why were you attracted to a blue boy wearing a peacock and playing flute, right? You are born in Switzerland, have never experienced of such a boy. Why are you attracted to him? You know, it's, I think, an interesting survey that we can conduct one day. So thank you very much. This is some of the thoughts which I had, and it'd be interesting also what you think about. So I welcome you to share also some points. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So with your permission. So actually an interesting topic, this one. So in this one, Prabhupada just discuss about the dreams, right? So in this one, kadachitubala bheda, it is sometimes we can experience, right? Because why we people are here in this Krishna consciousness means it is previous experience, right? In the last birth, maybe we experienced the devotional activities and we perform some of the sadhanas. So as a result, only we got another birth, but we started with the Krishna consciousness in this present life, right? So that means that experience which you tell, that is exactly, that is a consciousness, right? That is a consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Soul is the part and parcel of Krishna. That is the symptom of the soul. That is a consciousness. Always, I think in the Bhagavad Gita 2.25 it is mentioning that soul is having conscious, soul is conscious and consciousness. But unfortunately, when we receive this material body, we are unconscious about our real nature, right? But Atma is always thinking, I am the part and parcel of the Paramatma, that is the Lord Krishna. And the Atma is having the consciousness, my eternal duty is to serve Lord Krishna. But with this threefold material nature, this Atma can't do anything with our present, which you told about the material mind and our intelligence, right? So we want to mold our intelligence and our mind. That is what is the exact consciousness of the Atma. We want to do the devotional service. We want to serve Lord Krishna. We want to serve the devotees. But when we are, that is in the Bhagavatam, it is mentioning that when we people are in the womb of our mother, there is the conversation, it is happening between that boy or girl, that Jivatma and Krishna. Then Krishna is giving the instruction, giving the advices that why you are suffering in this womb, okay, because of your past karmas, right? Because of that past karma only you want to take the another birth, so you can come back to me at the earliest once you will do the devotional service, okay. So when we are coming to this material world, what will happen? This Maya will attack us and that conversation we will forget, and there is totally ignorance will be there. But the consciousness is always there, because sometimes we are fearing lot of troubles, tensions and everything. When we are sitting in front of Lord Jagannath, Lord Govindai, we are hearing these songs, kirtans and everything. After 5 minutes, there is some sort of bliss is there, right? We will reduce our tensions and all. Because that is the consciousness of the soul, right? The Atma will realize that, okay, I am hearing my songs, I am hearing my glorification. So that is the consciousness that we can experience. That is Kadachit Uparabhyada, I think. So that experience we can, there is one story, so I am taking the time, I don't know. There is some story that is, or two students are approaching one Mridanga teacher to learn Mridanga. So one student told, okay, I don't have any previous experience, I don't know anything about Mridanga, you want to teach me. Teacher told, that is your fees is $20. Okay. The other student told, I have experience in Mridanga, I learned something. So teacher told, your fees is $35. So the second student asked, I have something, but why you told the $15 more? So the teacher told, I don't know what you learned from other gurus. Okay, it is correct or not. So I want to vanish all other things. So if you are approaching a proper guru, it is from the guru disciple succession, then only we will get the exact knowledge. You started with that point. So Srila Prabhupada gave the instructions through what the exact knowledge which is coming from Lord Shri Krishna. That's why you people are experiencing this one.
Thank you.
Yesterday evening when I sat there, at that time I saw that watch with Srila Prabhupada. There is no. So I told to Ramachandra Prabhu also. There is in the starting time, Srila Prabhupada disciples, they are in the active mode of the preaching, right? So they went to one prison just to give an advertisement with the Srila Prabhupada's picture and all. Then they mentioned that one so that there is Bhagavad Gita class which is going to be given by Srila Prabhupada. So all the prisoners come and watch this old man who is wearing this saffron dress and all. But one jailer, he stayed a little far away from the other crowd. Then he is continuously watching the Rolex watch of Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so he is thinking that when I am getting this parole, that is bail, at that time I want to go to Srila Prabhupada ashram and steal the Rolex watch. That is his intention. So when he is getting that parole, he went directly to Srila Prabhupada ashram, and there is Mangalarati, all the kirtans, bhajans, everything is there. But he is always stayed little far away from the other crowd. Srila Prabhupada noticed that, and Srila Prabhupada identified that he wants my Rolex watch. That is his intention. There is 1 week, 2 weeks gone. He is attending all the programs. He is hearing somehow. But one day Srila Prabhupada called him and asked, what do you want? Then this person told Srila Prabhupada, actually I came to see your Rolex watch. Prabhupada told, no problem, I will give that one. Tomorrow I will give. But you want to attend to all the ironies, you want to do the Namajapa also. So what day happened? Next day, Prabhupada didn't give his case to him. It will continue for 1 week time, 2 weeks time. Then this person went to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, you didn't give the Rolex watch. So Prabhupada told, I will give tomorrow. Then another 1 month will go on. So after that, Srila Prabhupada asked him, you don't want my Rolex watch? That person told Srila Prabhupada, I don't want your Rolex watch. Because of the association of you and your followers, I am doing the Nama Japa. Because of the Japa, my mind is totally changed. Okay. Then finally he became one of the legendary followers of Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I just thank you for the nice example with artificial intelligence.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I was listening on.
Okay.
So it's nice, from the modern world, but it makes really sense how it works. I liked it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's, when we built these artificial models, etc., we are challenged with these questions, and it's very interesting that at the end we are challenged with the questions of consciousness. So this is very interesting. To build a proper model, you have to make sure certain conditions are given, and so it's a very.
It's interesting. Even during Prabhupada's time, that was already a topic. There's conversation between my Guru Maharaj and Prabhupada about artificial intelligence, and Prabhupada makes the point: artificial intelligence, but they are copying something. Who created the original intelligence? They should also.
And you said, no?
They're very proud of this.
They are copying basically the structure of the neurons.
Yeah.
This is inspired from that.
It's based on the creation of existence, but they don't ask who created this brain. They need so much brain to create this artificial. They don't consider who created it in the first place.
An interesting thing is also the neural network. It doesn't have any values if the living entity is not using it. At the end, the neural network is just numbers and computation. It is not intelligent. It's not conscious in itself. It is not going to, do something. It is just numbers. If it's drawing a picture, it is just some pixels with numbers and colors. That's it. But who is giving value to that is the living entity who is using it. So this we can also very interesting see that it is only useful when the living entity is at the end using it. Otherwise, it can be intelligence in terms of whatever standard we set, but no use of it. Thank you.
I also like that example of the plane and how you take different parameters, and it somehow answered the question I had when we hear Bhagavad Gita, this verse Yam Yam Vapi Smaram Bhavam, that the bhava is deciding where the soul goes, and it seems this bhava is all the different parameters taking into consideration. And you use the word, no? Yes, the Prabhupada used the term state of mind, or you said state of system.
Yeah, this is what we use in engineering, state of system.
So it's a nice point, and the example how when you have a plane, you have to take different parameters, and that gives the state. I just had one thing which came to my mind. I remembered when I came to the temple, there was one devotee, he did this past life regression. Go back, you go to the subconscious, and he was doing this with me, and so he will bring you into your subconscious, and then some images will pop up, and he will ask, so what do you see? And I remember I had a hard time speaking it out, because I was thinking, come on, it's my imagination. No? And I expressed to him, I don't feel like it, because I think I'm just concocting something in my mind. And then he was making a nice point. He said, if you would concoct it, you could not at the same time doubt it immediately. Because you are looking at it and you're doubting it means basically what you said is the imagination takes place in the same place in yourself where the doubting is taking place. So you cannot doubt and imagine at the same time. So if you see something and you doubt, that means that's something you actually, which is not created by you, it's something you perceive outside of you.
It's also like our mind can concoct things that doesn't exist, like a golden mountain, but it can also concoct things that exist. Like with the neural network, you have a cat and you have black snakes, and then it can combine the color black with the cat, make it a little bigger, and it will look like a panther, and panther exists, right? So the question at the end is what mental concoction is wrong and what is right? And for that, at the end, we have to revert back to Sadhu, Shastra and Guru, to say if the experiences we have, if it's just everything somehow combined, or is it a true experience, a pure experience that was in the past? Yeah. And I think that is also a difficulties usually with someone explaining something he has experienced, but we cannot kind of assert if it's really the pure experience of the past, or it is mixing many things together, and that's.
In Bhagavatam, the functions of intelligence, they are described as doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory and sleep. So this doubt and memory are both intelligence. And of course you have to be very introspective and present to see, because you can imagine something and then again doubt it. But if both happens at the same time, it means it's not, it comes from the citta, the more your subconscious experiences.
Thank you very much for your very nice lecture. I was wondering if we have, also if blind people also dream. That would be actually very interesting if they dream of things they never saw. That would be more like a proof. We can survey it actually. It's interesting. I don't know if you know about that.
You can ask AI.
It has to be a person who is blind from birth. That is the condition.
Yes. Yeah. And the second thing was that I observed myself how I dreamed, and then something was like exactly the same thing as in the dream. So this situation we didn't experience yet, so actually we can say that it is also like this with the other dreams and imaginations, that we just have a connection to like a higher intelligence or whatever source of things that could happen or whatever, and then we get access to it. So it doesn't necessarily prove that we have experienced it.
You mean experiencing something now which is going to happen in the future?
Yes. Or dreaming of some situations that are happening later.
I'm not quite sure about this, but when I come back to the state of a mind or state of a system, why is this so important is that in engineering, you model your system. You have like a mathematical model, and then with the state of the system, you want to predict the future. You want to say, okay, if I apply this force and that force, my robot or my system is going to move like that and this. And I think this we can also do to some extent, because we have the subtle body, which is the state now, and we might know maybe, okay, what are the future conditions or so, and then somehow to some extent we can predict. But usually the problem at the end again is, in our engineering case, the problem is that our models are never perfect enough, that they are also external factors that play a role, and that then we predict this, but this is the outcome. because of external factors which we have no influence of. And I think maybe that is also possibilities of dreaming something in the future. But maybe it's Krishna giving some insights, I don't know.
It is mentioning, Prabhu, that is if you are dreaming something, if it is maybe positive or negative, so which we don't know, that is given by Prabhu told, that is a chitta from inside, we are giving the indications. So if you are dreaming, that is as a Vaishnava, as a devotee, we want to connect each and everything with Krishna. So if the dream is positive,
if our mind is pure, that's
if the dream is positive, definitely we can go to that way. Otherwise, Anugulena Krishna Anushilanam. The same way, Anukulasya Sankalpa Pratikulasya Vardana. If it is negative, we want to correct it. If there is something negative, means okay, in our sadhana there is some fault is there, we want to rectify that.
But the question is then is again, how do we not become trapped by sahajyas? Like people, they say, I experienced Krishna, I experienced the bath of a gopi, but how do you want to know it's true? Right?
No, that is through Prabhupada disciples only.
Therefore, back to Sadhu Shastra Guru, right? We can't dream everything,
Yes.
but at the end we have an authority to say this is the way to go.
So we are telling about, you don't know, that is artificial intelligence, if the living entities are not utilizing that. So whatever the things we are creating, we are doing, all the things are very big zeros, right? If you are keeping the one Krishna in front, the zeros will vary from 100, 10, 100,000, lakhs, crores, like that.
Thank you. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Rasashraya Rama Dasa.
Wenn man gleich dort kommt, dann kann man sagen, ja komm jetzt. Weißt, ich habe gedacht, ja, ich sehe Bilder, das sind nicht Visionen oder so, ich kann nicht an etwas denken. Wenn ich die Therapie mache, ich habe einfach Sachen gedacht. Also denkt einfach so. Ich habe schon Bilder gesehen, aber mehr so Bilder gesehen im Sinne von. Also nicht so Vision in dem Sinne.
Also my son is in Bulgaria and he's okay with studying that medicine. So just we started at because through Shanghai I took Shanghai. So then the Sashi Prabhu told you that you go to sewage. It's Chaitanya Prabhu is there. Sachi is at a group center. He came here by
Anyway, to see what
ich habe einen Brief zu der Bulgaria.
Das erste ist auch buddhistisch.
Okay, sure.
Das ist schön, das
Vielleicht zwei Leben, buddhistisch und
Das ist richtig schön interessant. Ja, ich bin auch so ein bisschen, wenn ich das einfach nur irgendwie, ich muss jetzt ja etwas erinnern.
Prabhuji, can I take a second? Prabhuji, 10 o'clock I will leave. Okay, 10 o'clock. The Chaitanya Prabhu will come. That little Bulgaria.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Ich muss jetzt da schauen.
Zu dem Punkt, dass eben, man ja nicht kann erinnern und Taten, also Zweifel gleichzeitig, das macht ja schon Sinn, aber es könnte ja auch sein, dass man sozusagen immer hin und her
Das habe
spielt.
ich ja nachher gesagt. Du musst extrem ehrlich und introspektiv sein, um zu sehen, ob du hin und her gehst oder ob du wirklich. Ja.
Wie tust du sagen, dass es möglich ist? Wie tust du es konfirmen, dass es wirklich was du siehst?
Kannst du nicht. Also kannst du nicht.
Ja.
Die Frage war interessant, von der Blinde. Ich habe jetzt zwei Sachen gesehen. Oder wenn sie von Geburt blind ist und träumt auch irgendwelche Sachen.
Also,
Meine Frage ist, weil jemand muss ja das. Okay, nehmen wir jetzt mal an, eine blinde Person träumt etwas. Aber dann muss ja eigentlich die Blindperson das können erzählen.
Ja.
Aber wenn die Blindperson noch nie Erfahrung hat,
Sie hat ja Erfahrung, das ist es ja.
ja, innerlich, aber
Ja.
Was soll ich sagen jetzt?
nicht mit dem Intellekt verbunden.
Wie soll ich sagen, das ist jetzt Farbe grün, kannst du ja nicht sagen.
Genau, wenn es jetzt
Der Blindperson weiß nicht, was grün ist.
Ja, nicht unbedingt was Farbe ist, sondern halt wie die Sachen sind. Also zum Beispiel gibt es ja mega viel Research über außerkörperliche Erfahrungen und Zeugs. Und ich habe jetzt auch schon so States, wo ich halt einfach Sachen gesehen habe, die genau so sind, wie richtig, oder? Und dann sieht man das ja eigentlich mit dem Subtle Body. Und die könnten dann eigentlich einen Raum beschreiben, oder was auch immer, etwas beschreiben, das genau so ist.
Weil das Intellekt hat nie gelernt von dieser Person, was ist ein Raum, was ist
Ja,
eine
also
Form,
sie haben ja nicht
was ist
keinen
Erfahrung.
Sinn. Sie haben ja schon...
Sie haben Erfahrung, aber sie
Klar,
können
sie gar keinen.
es nicht sprachlich verbinden mit der Welt.
Ja, doch. Also blinde Personen sind ja nicht völlig hinter dem Mund, mit denen kannst du normal kommunizieren. Weil sie haben, also wenn sie jetzt gar keinen Sinn hätten, so irgendetwas machen, dann... ja, aber sie
Ich glaube,
können
ich habe
sich
letztens was gehört zu dem.
fühlen.
Wo, glaube ich, eine blinde Person auch erzählt hat, auch mit Railtracks und so, was man außerhalb sieht. Wer hat einfach nie, wer weiß nicht, was Railtracks sind, und dann sieht er einfach so Linien, glaube ich, und erklärt er das. Aber da muss man, glaube ich, im Detail mal schauen, wie autoritativ ist dieses Statement, wie gut ist das Experiment gemacht worden, dass es dann wirklich auch die Out-of-Body-Experience auch wie kann. Sicher kann man sehen, dass die Person wirklich nichts von dem außen gesehen hat.
Ja.
Und dass dann auch die Leute, die jetzt im Operationssaal sind und dann außen sehen, das ist ja dann vielleicht wurscht, kann man dann schon sagen. Aber es gibt auch viele Nonsens, so wie
Ja. Also bei mir ist halt der Gedanke gekommen, weil ich sehe ja nicht gut, da ich Brille, oder? Und, ich habe dann andere Sachen gesehen, die halt auch ganz scharf sind, oder? Und dann habe ich gedacht, oh wow, wenn man blind ist, sieht man ja dann so, also kann man das praktizieren und dann sieht man es. Und das, also...
Ja,
das ist
manchmal,
ganz interessant.
das ist immer ein Rahmenwertslevel, wo man noch gut sieht. Und
Nein,
Gut kann lesen.
ist es ja meistens viel diffuser als da. Also,
ja, das ist schön, Traumhaft ist schön. Ja. Flüge ist schon etwas, ne? Ich glaube, jeder hat schon Trassen.
weißt
ich kann im Fall nur treffen, wenn ich runterfliege, nicht wenn ich so fliege. Also immer das lang runterfliegen, das...
Nein, ich habe immer das Gefühl, und jemand anderes hat auch letztens gesehen, krass, dass man oft träumt, man muss irgendwo an einen Flug oder so.
ja.
Ich habe schon so ein bisschen geträumt. Habt ihr das auch?
So.
Ja, so, ich muss mich stressen.
Und nachher,
Ja,
und nachher bist
Sachen,
du die ganze Zeit irgendwie so, das ist schon entspannt.
das sind die schlimmsten Träume.
Aber das will einfach etwas sagen, dass man also eigentlich will sich auf etwas vorbereiten, oder zum Beispiel zurück zur Christen man macht so viele andere Sachen, dass man es eigentlich verpasst.
Das ist natürlich typisch, das SPD ist eine Frage.
Nein, aber das haben fast alle und es passiert so viel Mal, dass man das trennt. Und es hat
Ja,
das
das ist
Urgency. Ich habe letztes Jahr auch gesehen, weißt du, will ich sterben und dann denkt man, ich muss jetzt bereit sein, bevor ich sterbe. Aber dann ist man nicht bereit und dann stirbt man und dann denkt so.
Wie man.
Ja, das, wenn du vorher glaube vielleicht hast du ein Ziel gesetzt, ich muss da ernst sein.
Im Christentum zum Beispiel.
Aber du siehst alle sterben und musst nicht ernst sein und dann bist du nicht ernst. Und dann in diesem Leben denkst du wieder, hast du die Urgency vielleicht wieder. Wenn jetzt Leben hat es nicht gehabt, das muss ich wieder.
Dann nice, ja, clear Urgency. That is the problem.
Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama. Decided to go.
Yeah,
So we won't get to eat some tasty prasad on Sunday.
Anyway, one time you will come, you know.
Hare
Mani, you took initiation? No.
Yeah, I've taken Brahmana initiation also.
Okay.
By Giriraj Swami Maharaj.
Okay.
Yeah. You met him before?
No, there is a item from Jayavadaksam Maharaj. Mother is in Oman, I think almost 99% Jayavadaksam Maharaj.
Where does Oman come?
GCC.
Where?
GCC countries, no. Saudi Arabia, Dubai,
Saudi.
yeah, that GCC.
You live with your family there?
Yeah.
Okay. How did your son get admission over here?
No, by entrance only.
Entrance exam.
Entrance is there.
What he's doing?
Medicine.
Medicine. So after 12th he came here?
Yeah, 12th.
Okay, so during 12th exam he did his he gave his entrance exam.
Yeah, entrance exam here.
For Zurich.
Yeah. Not Zurich, Sofia, Bulgaria. Bulgaria. It is, I think, it is not under Schengen country, but it is, I think, in the same European Union.
Okay.
From here, I think 3 hours journey is there, flight.
So, which year is it now?
Sorry?
For him, which year is he?
No, first semester only finished.
First one?
Yeah,
Okay,
2 months before only he came.
Oh.
But there also Sofia ISKCON temple is there. I want to go there and just connect him. He already went and he participated in the programs and all.
Okay.
But anyway, just to give the connection with the devotees, okay, then it will automatically go.
That's nice, yeah. And by Prabhupada's mercy, wherever you go, you get this association.
Yeah, sure.
Otherwise, like, you know, I mean, I would have never thought, like, you know, that in India, in Mumbai, and in the temple, I've been cooking over there after my Brahmins. Initially, I was doing flower seva, garland, you know. Then after my second initiation, like Guru Maharaj asked me to start cooking. So started cooking over there. And then I came, my son came here, so then I knew that ISKCON temple is there. So I came over here and I told them, like, you know, that I'm missing my seva. So they said, oh, please come and do your cooking here.
Cooking is very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah.
In our chakra, I think nearest to 250 people are there in our gang. There is a the last week also we have 2 programs. One is for my birthday, they arranged the kirtan by themselves arranged. And after that, we arranged another kirtan. So, then even 200 to 250 people here make prasad in our home only.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, it happens. Like somehow Krishna just makes the.
Right.
I mean, we also have home programs, we have Abhishek and all that. So I could before coming into ISKCON, like, you know, even 2 people coming home for lunch or prasad or for food, like, you know, we say, oh my God, so much to do. But now so many people for the program, and it just happens.
Even our hall also expands.
So just like explain that, my mother told me, how can you do it? And you're making everything at home, like, you know, it's impossible, like, you know, for you to do it. So, and then I just saw
Krishna will manifest there. It will expand the room. Everybody will sit comfortably. Everybody will take prasad.
It's really Krishna. Very true.
Okay, Vadaji.
Okay, you're not having prasad?
No, I'm going.
You're leaving now?
10 o'clock. 10:30 Chennai will
So 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock on the prasad?
Here. Okay, sure.
9 o'clock you have prasad in 5 minutes if you
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have prasad and then leave, no?
Sure.
Keep your things ready down.
Okay. Chandra will come 10:30 only. 1 hour is there.
1 hour is there, no? Lot of time.
Okay.
Nice to meet you, yeah.
Thank you.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Shri 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 Shri. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Shri 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 Shri. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.